Hello, my name is Alvin Manuel, and I'm currently in the financial risk management course. And I'm going to talk about the risk management practice and study and analysis of Investing race. I'm currently in IPMI Institute, and this is in December 2024. So let's get into it. First, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about today. The first is the introduction. The second will be the development itself of the Investree. The third is regulatorily hurdles issue that faced by the industry. And the fourth is the credit risk management issue that happened in the industry. The fifth is the impact of crisis of debt to crisis towards the industry. The sixth is the strategic recommendation that I have given. And the last is the conclusion itself. So the first, we're going to introduce you to financial technology and financial risk management. According to Evans in 2019, financial technology or fintech is revolutionizing the financial services sector by integrating innovative technologies to create new products and improve efficiency. Other than that, according to Wu and Wilson in 2015, financial risk management is a critical discipline focusing on risk that can be managed using traded financial instruments such as derivatives, options, and futures. But more than that, the financial risk management have the liquidity risk, have the credit risk, and etc. It depends on the industry itself. So more than that, financial risk management is more broader and more crucial in business itself. So we are talking about the Investree. Investree. You ever heard about Investree? Investree is a financial technology company. It's a financial technology. It's a fintech company established in 2014, headquartered in Singapore. The company was created with the vision of empowering small and medium enterprises or SMEs by providing them easier access through a digital platform. So Investree is maybe headquartered in Singapore, but the operation in Indonesia is very crucial here. They're very actively happening and doing their business in Indonesia. So there are two founders. One is founders and one is co-founders. The founders is Adrian Gunadi. So before the background, a little bit background for Adrian Gunadi. Before he found the Investree, he served as a managing director of retail banking at Bank Muamalat Indonesia and held leadership roles in Citibank Indonesia. Different by that, the second co-founder of Investree is Amir Syamsuddin. He worked as a head of digital banking and innovation, one of the Indonesia's leading bank. So one is digital banking and one is director of retail banking Bank Muamalat. Before that is Citibank Indonesia. So the difference is technical with the technology and one is for the banking. So we can see this. And then there's the key features and services. So Investree operates a marketplace lending platform that connects borrowers, primarily small, medium-sized enterprises or the SME, like let's say before, with lenders, including individual and institutional investors. So the model is here, like they connecting the borrowers and lenders, and they doing the risk assessment and underwriting, and then they having the revenue by that. By what? By the fee, all of the fee that they are doing there. And after that, the transaction matching and facilitation. So after you get the fee, you get the risk assessment done, you get the connection, and the transaction happen, the transaction matching, and all of the facilitation. They're doing the facilitation also. So there's in this the financial technology, what technology and innovation that the investor use. The first is the automation, the second is predictive analytics, and the third is secure infrastructure. So the first issue that they found that they faced is the regulatory hurdles issue. So it was a very complex regulatory landscape in peer-to-peer lending. Like I said before, is a fintech like peer-to-peer lending between the borrowers and lenders, operates within highly dynamic and complex regulatory environment in Indonesia. As a pioneer of the P2P lending space, Investree has encountered several regulatory challenges that shape its operation and strategic decisions. What are the challenges of the complex regulatory landscape? The first is the rapidly evolving landscape. As before, they're pioneer, they're very evolving landscape. There are so many players there. Second is balancing innovation and compliance. Innovation and compliance they must be balanced to be if they are a technology company. The third is the risk management, and the fourth is consumer protection. Investing operations are shaped by a series of regulations designed to ensure the sustainability and accountability of the P2P lending platforms based on OJK, Peraturan OJK or POJK number 77, Peraturan OJK number 1, 2016, that happens that data protection, cybersecurity, they are consisting the anti-money laundering and counterterrorism financing. So these are the regulatory that they have to be faced. It was very complex. And the second is the compliance cost. Because as a fintech company, Investree operating in a highly regulated industry, Investree faces a substantial compliance costs. So these costs, while challenging, are essential also for ensuring the platform's sustainability, to ensuring the consumer trust and alignment with the regulatory frameworks. Regulation is very important. So that's why there was a licensing fee, there was a regulatory reporting fee, there was a fee on that, audit and certification, there was a legal and consulting fees, customers due diligence fee because they need to know their customers, and fair lending practices, dispute resolution and mechanisms, data protection, cybersecurity. They're using technology. They must be protect their customer data and also the security of the cyber. AML CTF compliance, AML CTF training, and tax reporting audit. So these compliance costs are very costly, very highly costly for the investor itself. So it's very, but the compliance cost is must. They're must doing this because they're regulatory. That's why it's very this one that's facing the issue of the investor. So the second issue that they have found is the credit risk management issue. So they was talking about the TWP90 ratio. So the Investree, they're facing a significant challenges in this. They are very high in TWP90, a 90-day past due ratio, at 12.58%. So these figures exceeds the regulatory limit set by the Financial Service Authority or OJK. So there's a very contributors that elevate the TWP90 ratio at the Investree. So this first is the software risk assessment model that are not very efficient, insufficient due diligence, there are lack of diversification, ineffective monitoring and collection. There's also the economic downturns down in the COVID-19 pandemic. And also the regulatory changes. There's so much changes in the regulatory. There's all this happening to increase their TWP90. So the second is high non-performing loan. So Investree, they're a lending platform in Indonesia. They're facing an increasing level of non-performing loans, NPLs. So there are some factors that are contributing to this rise of NPLs. The first is the economic headwinds. There are also past pandemic recovery and rising interest rates happening in Indonesia. The second is risk management challenges with the lack of underwriting standards, and ineffective risk monitoring, and weak debt collection practices. So these factors of the economic headwinds and risk management challenges are the one that factors that contributing to rise of the NPLs of the industry. So what happened? What the impact of the two issues that cannot be faced by them? So they get banned. They got banned. So on October 21, 2024, The OJK officially revoked the business license of PT Investree Radika Jaya or Investree. So this decisive action marked a significant turning point for one of the Indonesia's most prominent P2P lending platforms. They're having their why I say that a prominent P2P lending platform, because they receive the funding from the Qatar itself. They receive funding from the Qatar investor. So this is very big crucial moments in here. So the license revocation has a far-reaching consequences, impacting both investors and borrowers who relied on Investree's platform. So there's a two impact for the investors and the borrowers. The borrowers, the one that small medium enterprises. So the impact of the investor, they're very difficult to recovering funds that they do in the industry. Also, the potential financial losses if there's no secure itself from the fund that they have already put in the industry. By the borrowers, there's disruption in loan repayment. They're very little bit issue for the loan repayment and potential legal consequences, because if they cannot repay the loan, there is a legal consequences by that. So my recommendations will be, the first thing is to strengthening the Investree's risk management framework. The first thing is risk management framework. This is the financial institution. They're using the people money. They manage the people money. They still need, there must be need to mention the risk. They must to detect the risk, manage the risk. So in the light of the operational and the financial challenges faced by the industry, particularly the elevated levels of non-performing loans that I've said, and the revocation of its business license, it is imperative to implement a robust risk management framework. The first thing that you can do is enhance credit underwriting by rigorous verification process and by the advanced analytics and machine learning that they have, and now it's very common and very developed right now. The second is to diversify their portfolio. They have the portfolio, they have the blendings portfolio. They need to diversify it. So there's a industry and regional diversification, or the borrow segment diversification. The third that investor can do if they want to is effective monitoring and collection. Like I said before, that the collection is one of the problem in here. So they need to have the robust monitoring systems and efficient debt collection strategies. So that's why the collection of the debt, the collection of the repayment are smooth and not an issue anymore. The second is the transparent communication and strengthened the investor relation. So the financial institution, one of the biggest thing that you need to have in the financial institution is trust and confidence. You have a trust, you have a confidence, you have a customer base, do you get it? To rebuild the investor trust and confidence among their stakeholders, particularly the investor, it is crucial to Investree to adopt a proactive approach to a communication and investor relations. So what the investor can do, the first, they have to have the open and honest communication. They can give the regular updates, they can have the transparency in challenges and strategies, they can say the challenges, they can say what they are gonna do. It's giving the trust and the clarity for the stakeholders. The second is investor education. They need to educate the investor by the risk awareness, by the diversification guidance, by the risk tolerant emphasis. By that, all of the investors, all of the lenders in the industry can aware by their risk, they can aware by the diversification, and they can lower the risk itself. The third is the strong investor relation. The strong investor relation have the proactive engagement. They have to prompt responsiveness. They have the personalized support of their investing. They're all the stakeholder. The last is the regulatory compliance. Regulation is very important here. OJK is very tight for the regulation, so they need to close collaboration with the OJK. They have the internal compliance audit and they have a compliance training. By that, you can have the trust, you can have the compliance, a good system, a very trusted system that you can have it for the best to the stakeholders, to the customers, to the investors, to the lenders, to the borrowers. All of them is going to be happy with it. So by adopting this strategic approach, investor can rebuild its reputation, enhance investor confidence, and create a foundation for sustainable growth. By the trust, by all of the good systems, by all of the honesty and extra, they can build the foundation for the sustainable long actual growth for P2P lending because they have the technology that are not really everyone have. So the conclusion, the investor challenges, including the high compliance costs, the rising non-performing loans, and an elevated TWP-19 ratio, the OJK revocation itself underscore the complexities of Indonesia fintech landscape. To address these challenges, the fintech platforms must enhance credit underwriting, they must diversify portfolios, they have to, and improve monitoring system to mitigate risk. The pastry case underscore that in fintech growth must balance with innovation with accountability. There's no one to another. You just need to have the balance. They also have to balance the risk management and consumer protection. All of that is already in the regulation. The regulation is important here. Regulation, the trust, and clear communication is very important of three. By adopting these principles, the industry can navigate regulatory challenges like regulation, foster trust, the communication, and they contribute meaningfully to Indonesia financial inclusion, economic development. So that's all from me today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. And maybe we see each other soon again. Thank you so much for listening and goodbye.